Let's vibe, let's roll, let's get it. Whoa, shawty showing out, throwing on the dance floor. Fashion killer, huh? You don't give a fuck what a nigga gotta say or a bitch. Why?
Hey you guys, it's naimahrae and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button to join the fam because we stay lit over here. You feels me. And if you're a returning viewer, hi, how are you guys doing on this lovely day? As you guys can tell, I did something about my lighting. Okay, I had a little lighting breakthrough earlier. I'm really excited right now because I look great. Anyways, that's not what you guys are here for. As you guys can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be telling you guys like a compilation of all the weird train bus experiences that I have had in my lifetime. Well, not in my lifetime, but just as of like recently, because in case you didn't know, I just recently got a car, and before then I was taking the bus and the train to work, and I have like 3.5-ish story time to tell you. I don't really know if I want to tell the last one, well, the half one, because I'm not sure if it's appropriate for YouTube, so we'll see. We'll see how I feel when I get there, okay? And the third one's not really technically a story time, but I wanted to put it in this video anyway. But with all that being said, I'm not gonna ramble. Let's just go ahead and get into the video. Story time number 1. Okay, this one actually happened on the train. So I'm on my way back home from work. You know, I had a long day as per usual. I got my AirPods in, I'm listening to music. Train comes, get on the train, I get on and I sit down, right? As soon as I sit down, I look up because I'm always like very aware of my surroundings when I'm on the train, because I'm paranoid, okay? I'm a small person, okay? I feel like people, they look at me and they be like, oh yeah, bet, let's rob her. Like that's my logic in my head. So I be like on the lookout. I be very aware. So I'm on the train, you know, I sit down, I'm on Twitter and I look up, you know, I'm looking around, see what's popping, you feel me? And there's this girl, she's like sitting like kind of like across from me, like diagonally. So she's like over there, right? And she's like staring mad hard at me. Like, I mean, when I say she is staring at me, y'all, I mean like she is staring at me. And so like I see her looking at me and like I just look away, because you know how like you make eye contact with somebody and you look away in hopes that they look away too. So I'm thinking that's what she's gonna do, right? But I look back over, she's still looking at me. And I was like, okay. So at this point, you know, I'm starting to scroll on Twitter, and it seemed like it took forever for the train to actually take off that day too. So I get back to scrolling on Twitter. I was like, you know, this is weird, but I could still feel her like looking at me. So I look up and look at her, and she's still looking at me. And I'm just like, do I know her? Like, at this point, I'm starting to think, well, maybe I know her from somewhere. Does she know me from somewhere? Has she seen me somewhere? Do I know her? Am I being rude? So as soon as I was about to just like take my hand and just be like, hey, like, she looks away. And I was like, okay, cool. So I go back to scrolling on Twitter, you know. I look up again. Sis is staring at me. Bro, she's... At this point, I'm starting to get frustrated because I'm like, I don't like when people stare at me. I mean, I don't think anybody likes when anybody stares at me. I don't think anybody likes when people stare at them, but it was just weird because she was like staring super hard. Y'all, first of all, she was giving me a death stare, okay? It wasn't even like a, it was more like a, like I want to kill you right now type stare. Like I'm about to get up in the middle of this train ride and like, you know. Yeah, I was low-key starting to feel a little uneasy. So, you know, I get off Twitter and like I moved my hand because it was like winter time. So I had my taser in my jacket pocket and I was like, let me just grab this just in case I gotta use it, because sis was staring mad, y'all. I really don't know what her problem was, but she was staring so hard at me and I was starting to feel really uncomfortable, and I was just looking like, okay. And like she was kind of big too, so it was like she could really just kick me in my chest and it'd be over with, okay? Like, done. It's like 4 stops till I get to my apartment stop that I need to get off on. So this whole time, for the most part, like I promise you, she stared at me like the whole entire time. Like sometimes she would look away, but other times she would go back to staring at me. And like I told you, it was not a regular stare, it was like a death stare. And she was like, I don't know what was going on, but it was scaring me. And when my stop comes, I'm just ready to get up and go, because at this point I'm freaked out. I'm hoping that she don't follow me. Like if she does, I'm calling the police. Like I don't have time for this. So I'm about to get up and I noticed that there was a girl who was getting off on my stop too, And like when she started gathering her stuff to get up, because our stop was coming up, the girl literally turned her whole body around like this, y'all. Like she turned her whole freaking body around in the seat and stared this girl dead in her face. Like the girl, like she stared her like dead in the face, bro. And the girl looked about my age and she was like really pretty. And I was like, maybe she just has a problem with staring at girls. Because she wasn't staring at nobody else. It was just me and the other girl that looked like we was both pretty much like college students. Like, and I was just like, okay. And the girl, I could tell when she was getting up, she was kind of like, why is she staring at me? And then she was also getting harassed by some guy who came and sat down and talked to her. Honestly, I thought they knew each other, but I realized that what she was saying, excuse me, and he wasn't getting up, like that they didn't really know each other. I was like, oh, she's going through it over there. I would have helped out, but I didn't really notice the situation. I was really anxious to get off the train because, like I said, old girl had a staring problem. To this day, I don't know why she was staring at me. I told my boyfriend about it and he was like, oh, maybe she recognized you from YouTube. I was like, look, man, first of all, I don't think my channel's that big yet. Second of all, if she did, that is not the way to go about it. If you see me, just say hey. Please just say hey. Just, hey, naimahrae, I know you from YouTube, something like that. Because that was really, it was just really an uncomfortable experience that I did not like at all. Like, can you guys imagine somebody just staring at you like, and like her face just looked so serious. It was a lot. Story number 2. So this is a bus story time. So where I work at, they have this free bus that like takes you to like the little area so you could get on, get off there, blah blah blah. So it's not a MARTA bus. So pretty much I'm walk down to like a closer stop, and like the times are very unpredictable for it, like very unpredictable. They have this website and it'll be like, oh, the bus is coming in 2 minutes, it'll show up in 10. So you really just don't know when the bus is coming. You just have to do a good estimate. You gotta have a lot of time on your hands and make sure you're early if you're going to work, and don't have nothing planned afterwards, because woo child, I'm standing there waiting. It says like the bus is like 5 minutes away, and I was like, oh, okay. Mind you guys, it was literally like 100 degrees outside this day. I had just worked like an 8-hour shift and my feet were killing me. And usually I don't ever sit on the bench for like at the stop because I feel like it's unsanitary, but I really wanted to sit down. And I also this was during the pandemic as well, so like, yeah. So I was like, okay, let me just sit down. Like my legs really hurt. It's fine, I'll just wash my clothes, sanitize, all that other stuff. So I sit down on the bench and I'm listening to my music on Twitter, minding my business, and I hear this voice behind me. And I was like, oh shoot, maybe I need to turn my music down because it's a little loud. So I turned my music down and she was like, is this the bus stop? I was like, yes. And she was like, oh, okay. Y'all, this lady, first of all, she was kind of hefty, okay? I ain't got nothing against hefty people, but she was kind of hefty. And then she had a bunch of shopping bags. So she comes and sits on the bench next to me, right? And like, I had to scoot all the way over to the end. Because first of all, bro, first off, we are supposed to be social distancing. Don't come sit next to me, bro. And I wanted to get up, but I didn't want to be rude. So I was just like, bro, like, why is you so close to me? Her bag hit me on my arm and everything. I'm like, why are you so close to me? So I get a little aggravated. I'm like, bro, seriously? So I slowly just take my mask and I just pull it up. So now I'm sitting here in this 100-degree weather with this lady next to me and this hot mask on my face. So I am starting to sweat bullets, okay? I'm hot. So I was like, bro, like, I can't take this no more. And I checked time on the bus. It said like 2 minutes. I was like, great, let me just stand up. So I stood up. And I'm waiting for the bus, and she on the phone with her homegirl, whoever she talking to, and she's like, yeah, girl, I think I'm gonna go home and fix me some tea because my throat kind of hurt. You what? We are in the middle of a pandemic, and you think that I want to hear, after you done sat next to me and rubbed clothes all up on me, that your throat was hurting? Y'all, I started to get mad because I was like, bro, like, why would you come sit next to me? First of all, there's everything was just wrong with the situation. I started to get frustrated. I was like, you know what, whatever, the bus is here, I'm ready to get on the bus and just go home. Okay, I'm ready to go home. So I don't know what was going on. It was like they always have these like short little buses. They're like, they look like kind of like, I can't think of the name of them. They're not party buses, but I guess it could be like a short party bus. If I could find a picture, I'll insert it. But anyways, this one was like smaller than usual. So I get on and it's like extra packed. And I'm just like, dang, there ain't no seats. Luckily, I found a seat in the back, right? Here come old Corona lady. That's what her name gonna be. She come straight to the back too. And she's standing for like 2 seconds, and then she's like, hey, can I stay here? And like she squishes, get all up on this guy, and I'm like, sir, I mean, correction, ma'am. I'm like, you just said that your throat was hurt, and why is you all up on this man? What? Why? I was just like, bro, like, I really don't want her near me at this point. So like, my mask is on. Like I said, I'm sweating bullets, and like literally the bus was so packed that people was standing, and there was one lady, it wasn't her stop, and I know it wasn't her stop because the way she got off, she was like, I'm just gonna get off. She was like, I'm getting off, I can't take this, because we were literally packed in there. And I don't know why they switched to the small bus, or they bought it, or whatever the case may be, during a pandemic and everybody's all close and packed together. But I was just like, this is not it. So the guy who was sitting next to me, because I was sitting on the outside, he had to get up. So I let him out and I sat on the inside, right? Y'all, why does it feel like this man is blasting the heat in the bus? I swear to you, I was feeling warm air, and I was just, I'm already sweating. Now I'm sweating more. And I'm just like, bro, why is it so hot? It's so hot, and we already packed in here like sardines. So I'm just like, bro, seriously? So that was that experience. I don't know what happened to that lady. I was trying to run from her the whole time because she ended up going to the train station, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want her to sit next to me on the train, but we got in 2 different cars, thank God. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go home, take me a nice shower, and sanitize, okay? Because that was absolutely ridiculous. People are just so inconsiderate. They really are. Like, y'all, the next story time is once again on the train, and I was coming home from work. It's not really a long story time, but I was coming home from work, and I think I was on the phone with my mom, and minding my business, you know. We get to like the second stop up, like the second stop from the work stop, the next one. Yeah, y'all go and try to say. Yeah, we get there, and this guy gets on, and he's like, he stares me dead in my face when he gets on, mind you, okay? He just like, and then he's like, I got money to blow. Everybody could get some. And I was like, excuse me? And so we was all, everybody on the train, we was all like looking at him like, what? And he just like goes down with this dollar in his hand and talking about, I got money to blow. Everybody could get some. And we're just like, okay. And so like, it had got dead quiet when he got on. He was saying that. And my mom was like, what was that? Who was that talking? And I was like, Mom, I don't know, but stay on the phone, because I'm kind of scared, because he looked at me, and then he started talking to people, and I was like, oh, he better not talk to me, because I'm scared. Like, what? I don't know what happened to him. I got off the train on my stop ASAP. I was like, bet, I'm getting out. And that's exactly why I always sat next to the door, in case I had to make an emergency exit, because I was just like, bro, what? Weird experience. The last story that I'm gonna tell you guys, which I don't know how I'm gonna tell it, because like I said, I don't know if it's appropriate for YouTube, but I'm gonna try to tell it anyways. So pretty much, it was this day that I went to go to work down to the train station, and it was like extra crowded down there. They were saying like, oh, you can't catch this train because it's not running, like you're gonna have to go up and catch the bus, and we'll just bus you guys over, and da-da-da-da. And everybody was like, what's going on, da-da-da. And I had no clue what was going on. I didn't. And this is probably what I get for never watching the news. But I asked one, because it looked like there were some kids down there on a field trip or something. I was kind of confused. I was like, hey, do you guys know what's going on? And it was like, oh, apparently some woman jumped onto the train tracks, you know, and y'all know what that means. I don't think I could say the word. That's why I'm not saying it. So I was just like, oh my gosh. So y'all, it was so, like, the whole thing was so bad. It was really bad. Like, people couldn't get home from work. People couldn't go. Like, it was really bad, because they had to shut down that whole side, because it was like, right, it was kind of in the middle of something. So it was kind of like at not a connecting point, but it was in the middle So it was a mess. They couldn't run the train at all on that side. And the whole situation was bad. I ended up having to call my friend and ask her if she could take me to work. And I made sure I had somebody pick me up too, because it took them like 3-4 hours to clean the whole thing up. It was a mess. Yeah, after the whole situation, they put up prevention signs to prevent that from happening again, because it honestly was a mess for everybody. And it was just a really bad situation. Like, honestly, it really was. And, you know, I just want to say, you guys, if you're going through something, you know, always reach out and get help, because it'll get better eventually, I promise. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see from me, and let me know what you guys thought. Like, what are your weird train or bus experiences? Like, what would you have done in like a lot of these scenarios, or like what wouldn't you have done? Like, tell me. Let's discuss, okay? Make sure you follow me on all my social media at naimahrae. It's always in the description box down below. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.
I want a chick that grind on a 9 to 5. Oh, she in them college books trying to get a rise. But tonight, I'm just trying to have a good time.